Today, we're going to do a camera comparison between the Oppo Find X9 Pro versus the iPhone 17 Pro. Throughout this video, the pictures will be shot in ultra-wide, wide, 4x and 8x on iPhone, 3x and 6x on Oppo. For max zoom, the iPhone can go up to 40x, whereas on Oppo, it's at 120x. Personally, I do like the 4x and 8x option on the iPhone for quick access, where I think the 3x and 6x is just a tad too wide. For the ultra-wide, you can tell that the iPhone has a more wider and more epic look, so it does feel like a proper ultra-wide camera. In terms of quality, they are both very good during daytime, so it's hard to tell which one is drastically better, but I'm sure you will clearly see the difference in HDR and color. So first, HDR. It seems like the Oppo does have a stronger HDR, so like if you look at the shadows, it is brighter, and even at the brighter areas, and even at the highlighted areas, I think it's just a bit too hot, so it's like almost overexposed. So if you like to see the most exposed images, and if you like taking pictures against the sun, then I feel like the Oppo does have that down. And some people may not like that, they probably want something more natural, which I think the iPhone definitely gives that more natural look. For example, in portrait mode, my skin tone on the Oppo is just seem like it's a bit too bright, and the highlight roll-offs on the iPhone just seems more smooth and is more pleasing to the eye. And personally, I do like the warmer look, especially on skin, so I am leaning towards the iPhone for portrait mode. And I'm not saying the Oppo is bad, it's just for me, I think it's just too harsh. One cool thing is Oppo does have its own teleconverter kit, which makes the images look super amazing. It's like it's coming off of a camera and you can't tell it's coming from a phone. It is a first party accessory, so it's cool that Oppo has an option for people who wants to get these type of footage or pictures, but the plate does block off the ultra wide and wide, so you do have to constantly take it off throughout the day. You can also shoot video, which instantly gives you that nice creamy bokeh in the background, and definitely you do want to turn on that stabilization. Moving on to low light, throughout these darker pictures, the Oppo definitely takes a kick with clearer photos. Night mode is turned off on both of these, but when you take the picture on Oppo, it does process longer. So basically, once you press the shutter button on the Oppo, you do have to wait a bit for it to process, which can slow down your shooting experience or miss the moment. And on iPhone, once you press the shutter button, it feels super smooth and snappy, but then you can tell that the quality isn't as sharp. Now, just like during daytime, the Oppo does have a more exposed image, which you can clearly see now in these low light photos. And of course, the colors is definitely more vibrant. Now for the ultrawide on the Oppo, I feel like it's just too much, where it doesn't give off that nightly feel, whereas on iPhone you can see that it's more natural. And you can instantly tell that this is a low light photo, and you can instantly tell that this is taken during the nighttime. Now this is just auto without touching any settings, but you can actually go in yourself and set it to a lower exposure. Now moving on to low light video, you can clearly tell on the ultra wide feels very wide on the iPhone, whereas on the ultra wide on Oppo doesn't feel like it. It's probably like a wide camera but slightly zoomed out. And of course this is super low light, so none of them look very good, but once you do add on light, you can definitely see the improvement. Now I am walking downhill, so the phones are really shaking in my hands, but just looking at these two, I feel like the Oppo is just slightly smoother. For the main wide camera, both of them look pretty good, but the iPhone seems just a bit more flatter in color, and it does do a better job not overexposing the highlights. Now for the telephoto, you can tell that the Oppo has more of that faded look to it when you point it at the light, and you can kind of see a bit more choppiness on the Oppo when I'm panning around slowly. And for the shadows, you can kind of see a bit more on the Oppo, whereas on iPhone it's just slightly dark. Now for daytime, both of them of course looks pretty good, and going back to the ultra wide again, this is a perfect example where if you want to capture the whole church and get that more epic look, that very ultra wide feel, then the iPhone definitely has that down. And during the daytime, I feel like the highlights are still more better handled on the iPhone, as you can tell the building at the back. The highlights on Oppo feels like it's just slightly overexposed. And then for telephoto, just seeing 4x and 3x side by side, I feel like it's just more handy to have 4x. And it's just what I expected when I zoom in, because I feel like 3x is just still a bit too wide, and that also avoids me pressing another button or swipe to zoom. So that is the comparison between these two phones. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.